Jason, I know you love to hear from people who share your first name. And so why not turn to our dear friend, Jason Lemkin from
Oh,
SaaStr, asking about what you should do when a large company reaches out to your startup. He writes down on Twitter, one of the weirdest calls you get as a founder is when a big co out of the blue wants to talk about acquiring you, literally out of nowhere. He points out that sometimes these are real, sometimes these are not, but he thinks that you should take the meeting, at least to listen, even though, yes, sometimes this will be a fishing expedition. But we're talking a lot on the show about how there's going to be more M&A next year. So I presume more founders are going to get this call. So I want to know the Jason Calacanis advice to founders for dealing with interest from larger companies.
yeah. So there are departments, corporate development departments, and they have been asked to stand down under the Lena Khan, regime, and just not even pursue M&A because what's the point? Now you see Netflix wanting to acquire Warner Brothers, and you see DoorDash acquired 3 or 4 international companies. Of course, you don't just have to get through the M&A filter here in the United States, as we saw with Adobe trying to purchase Figma. It was, I believe, the UK that put up the biggest fight. So it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going to see massive M&A. And as I said, I think we're going to see $100 billion company get bought in 2026. And I think we'll see multiple $10 billion or billion-dollar companies get bought as well. So it's coming, folks. And that's a good thing for the playing field. Consolidation is good. It creates disruption. It creates opportunities. The only time it's really bad is if it limits consumer choice or it creates a monopoly position where that person's able to raise prices. That's really the only 2 things you have to think about. Netflix buying HBO, that has a detrimental impact on directors and the catering companies and the lighting people. Sure, they have less parties to negotiate and less customers. Fragmented markets, better for them. But the truth is, these are just magazine companies buying each other. Cable companies buying each other is the equivalent of magazine companies buying each other. Studios buying each other is the equivalent of newspapers buying each other. In other words, they're all going to lose to TikTok and YouTube, or are losing to TikTok and YouTube and Instagram.
Or have lost to TikTok and YouTube,
To a certain extent, they have lost a lot of audience to those platforms, but they've still built a great business with 300 million plus subscriber bases for streamers. Put that aside, people are going to knock on your door, yes. And typically the way this goes is partnership to purchase. You do some sort of partnership. That's what happened to me with Weblogs Inc. and AOL. They came to me and said, hey, we want to invest. We want to learn from you. I took the meeting, and then it went from them putting an investment of $1 million in to buying 49% of the company, to buying 51% of the company, to just making a $30 million offer. We'll buy the whole kit and caboodle. And so that was great for me. We decided to do it. And that all happened over like a 6-week period that they went from courting us to buying us. And last minute, News Corp came in, was like, hey, can we put an offer in? I was like, yeah, we're already down the road. And they wanted to put in a low ball offer anyway. You're not obligated to tell the corporate dev people all the top stuff. You just say, hey, tell me what you're thinking. And they say, oh yeah, tell us about your business. Like, yeah. You can actually talk your business down. You could tell them the opposite of reality. You could tell them, yeah, we're figuring out. What I would say is things like, we're figuring it out. And they say, well, what's your average cost per content? And we'd say, we pay the bloggers well, and tens of dollars. But I didn't give them the data. I didn't give them the list of bloggers.
Right.
They could get that off the website anyway.
Take the meeting. Don't 100%. Be overly specific. That makes good sense to me.
Just ask them questions. Let them talk.
Launching a new company is all about finding your first customers and then just learning how to solve their problems. And that is going to put you on a relentless pace. And that means you're going to be releasing new products and features, hopefully at a brisk pace or better. But my lord, the complexities of working with AI, it's going to slow your developers down. They're going to have to install new GPU drivers. They're going to be provisioning clusters. All of this detail-oriented, labor-intensive work can distract you from working on the thing that you're building, your product. But now there's Crusoe. They are the AI factory that worries about your backend so you can focus on your code. And their hardware has been designed specifically for AI development, so they're going to make sure that your models run with unparalleled performance every time. Head to crusoe.ai/build to apply and receive $100,000 in credits for virtualized NVIDIA GB200 NVL72 on Crusoe Cloud. Pending availability, okay? That's crusoe.ai/build to apply and get those $100,000 in credits.